have been saying for the last few weeks that when these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, as we say, protests happen around the country, happen throughout college campuses, that when they say pro-Zionist, what they really mean is not just that they are going against people who support the state of Israel. That specifically is targeting Jewish kids, Jewish adults, and evangelical Christians, Christian Zionists, because a lot of evangelical Christians, shocker, are pro-Israel. The fact, and again, you can be against Israel's government, but just for the existence of a Jewish state of Israel. And of course, finally, as they say, as the kids say, they said the quiet part out loud. This came from the Director of Outreach and Community Organizing for American Muslims for Palestine. Let me read to you on their website what they say is their mission. Again, this is an American company, a 501c3 nonprofit company right here in our great country. Okay, so we're not talking about an organization out of the Middle East. This is American Muslims for Palestine. Sounds nice enough. This is their about. The American Muslims for Palestine is a national education and grassroots-based organization dedicated to educating the American public about Palestine and its rich cultural, historical, and religious heritage. Founded in 2006 and has had offices nationwide. This is 2009. Okay, so that's just a generic, here's who they are. Sounds nice, sounds peaceful, sounds like they're just trying to educate people, even if we disagree with their point of view. Just sounds like they're trying to educate people. Let's hear from the Director of Outreach. Again, this isn't just some random member. This isn't someone. This is the Director of Outreach and Community Organizing for their group.
Anybody who has any relationship or any support or any or identifies themselves as a Jewish person or as a Christian Zionist, then we shall not be their friend. I will tell you that they are enemy number one, and our community needs to recognize that as such.
This is an American company with an American board, and if you look at who this came from, this was the Director of Outreach and Community Organizing for American Muslims for Palestine, which again, sounds all good and nice. We all know what that really means, that maybe they're smart enough to not, again, say what they really think.
We should listen to our enemies when they tell us who they are. They say a lot of things. You know, he started this organization supposedly for the great Palestinian culture. Well, there is no Palestinian culture because the notion of a Palestinian Arab came into existence in the 1960s, taking over the name Palestine from what was always the Jewish state, the Jewish land. Palestinian meant Jew until the 1960s. And they've been clear since the beginning that they have one mission and one goal, total genocide of the Jews, but also they've said that while the Jews are the small Satan, that Christians and America are the great Satan. So the war that started on October 7th, Israel is just a front for a war that's against our entire civilization, against Judeo-Christian civilization. And they're getting closer and closer to saying it out loud. People like him who've been working for years and years, and now you have college kids bowing down to Mecca. They don't know anything. They're these non-binary queer college kids who would be slaughtered in areas, controlled by the Palestinians, bowing down to Mecca and declaring that they want death to America.
This is the type of rhetoric that we're hearing from the far left, and we're hearing it too much, which is when you label someone the number one enemy, or you label someone as completely, a person who should not be tolerated at all, or their words or deeds should not be tolerated. What you're really saying is that this person should be eliminated. And that's what people are going to hear. Now, whether they intended to make that assumption or that deliver that message, that is what people will hear. This rhetoric has gone too far, and we are going to see some terrible consequences coming because the far left is completely unhinged, intolerant. They hate America. They hate dissenting views. They can't even be in the same room as someone, and they're calling for their demise. I'm very concerned that the mainstream left isn't doing enough about the far left.
As we were talking earlier, you are seeing this rhetoric, one, get more brazen by organizations. We know that the American Muslims for Palestine also help organize for Students for Justice in Palestine, which is behind many of these encampments and have been kicked off many college campuses because of their rhetoric in the past. But we also know at the same time, as we're seeing it spread here on American campuses, we're now seeing horrific video out of Europe, where you saw at the University of Amsterdam, people wearing keffiyehs were beating Jewish students with 2x4s as they tried to walk through the campus. But we also have, just a day after the United States president said that his support for the security of Israel is ironclad, he admitted that they had paused munitions transfers and marked a very distinct red line about any munitions going forward if anything happens in Rafah.
They played a clip from President Biden being interviewed, and this is when he kind of confirmed that they've been holding up shipments. But when you hear this, check out the level of confidence coming out of this president right now.
We've held up the weapons. We've held up the one shipment as an old shipment. It was designed. We've held that up.
This is stunning, and this is dangerous, and the whole world is watching. So this has a real impact on the relationship between the United States and Israel's capacity to defend itself. That's what the real focus is. But think about what's in the minds of Hezbollah today. Think about what's in the mind of the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Think about what's in the mind of the leadership of Hamas, who's sitting in tunnels under Rafah. They're all enormously encouraged. They cheered that interview. You should also think about students on campuses who think we caused this. Our chaos creation, our denying some students the capacity to live their lives, practice their faith, actually just get a basic education. That work that we did on these campuses influenced the President of the United States and has now caused him to break with a 75-year ally of the United States of America. The Israelis will get it right. They'll do the right thing. But the fact that the President of the United States spoke this way, spoke just the day after he'd given this full-throated support of the Jewish people and their rightful homeland, is indecent and truly dangerous.
You need to hear about how you can take action and how you can actually support people like Jeff, like the ACLJ in Jerusalem. Right now, there's an easy way to do it. This isn't you can donate if you want. We encourage you, please, to support the work of the ACLJ. But we have a petition right now. You go to aclj.org/sign, because look, do that right now. Sign the petition to support Israel, because it's sad to say this, but now it's not just supporting and standing with the Jewish people. It's also standing and supporting the Jewish people, and also standing and supporting, likely, if you're listening on Christian radio, or you're a conservative, or you're a Christian, they are coming after you as well. We are now enemy number one.